Happy Tuesday! Today I have my beautiful sister, who's also my sister-in-law, which is the most confusing thing in the world. But yes, we're two sisters married to two brothers. I'm gonna say this in Farsi too because I have a lot of Persian friends and followers that ask me. So I'm just gonna say this one part in Farsi so it's clear for all of us. ما دوتا خواهریم با دوتا برادر ازدواج کردیم. مونا هم خواهرم هم جاریمه. So, two sisters married to two brothers. Now that we got that out of the way, the most commonly asked question, we are here to talk about my series that I created when the pandemic kind of first started, which was from an immigrant's perspective. I did one on myself where I kind of explained my feelings towards being an immigrant and my experiences. And then I interviewed my husband, and I thought the next person who is like my right arm and my second brain, my sister, because we experienced so much together. However, my experience was slightly different, or I should say a lot different, because I was the little one, and believe it or not, she is the older one. So she's 5 years older. For all of you guys that keep asking me if I'm older, that is so rude. I cannot explain how rude that is.
She's definitely the better one, the gifted one.
She only says that because everybody compliments her more than me. So yes, I am younger by 5 years. من 5 سال کوچیک‌ترم. اینم به فارسی بگم. This is the second most commonly asked question from the Persians. And it's so sad that you guys think I look older. I am not older.
It's because you're wiser, Sissy.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
You see how she fixes that? She's very good at that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're really here because I wanted to ask my sister, who was, the older one of the first out of all of our cousins to come here. So there was a lot of pressure on her and a lot of, I would say, responsibility that I didn't have to face that you had to face. I remember my version of it, but I'm curious to see what your version was. So my first question for you is, when mom and dad said, okay, we're going to pack up, we're going to go, were you happy or were you sad?
Well, first of all, I'm so honored to be here.
She has to say that. I paid her to say that.
No, this is actually fun.
Yeah, she was nervous. She thought I'm going to grill her, but...
Sometimes she does. Hopefully not today.
No, today's professional. I'm going to go easy on you.
Okay, thank you, God. I was actually super excited.
Yeah.
I was so happy. I did actually beg our parents, please give us this opportunity. So from the beginning, I felt very excited, felt very privileged to have this opportunity to come to this great country and really have the chance at a better life.
So you wanted to come here?
I did.
So from what I remember, you were actually poking mom and dad to bring us here.
I literally begged them, and to this day, I feel so thankful that they gave up all their dreams and their own lives, goals and inspiration, everything they put on hold for us. So.
As did all the other immigrant parents that had to endure the same experiences and the same pain, I should say, because it was very difficult. So what was this dream, this American dream that you were after? What was in your mind? What did you envision? And what did you get when you got here?
Of course, it was such a struggle when we first got here, new country, new language, everything. But I felt like a bird that was given wings to fly. Because, like you said, our parents were conservative and they were so worried about us. They sheltered us so well.
So much.
And so much. I was not allowed to go anywhere without mom dropping me off or always being there. So by moving here, she had to, take on new responsibilities. She actually started working full time. All the roles in our family changed. So our dad, was not as active in the workforce. Our mom was working full time. With that meant responsibilities,
She means second mom to me, but she doesn't want to say that.
Which I really actually enjoyed.
She was great.
I really love that I was given that opportunity to prove to myself and to them that, hey, I can do this.
And you did. Do you remember those early days?
Yeah.
So she got a job. I mean, this is probably a immigrant's story in so many different homes. I can just only imagine this. So Mona was a teenager when we got here. I was younger, so I didn't understand a lot of the challenges you faced. And she really wanted to feel the freedom, so she ended up getting a job at this place called Rampage.
I got a car for first.
Oh, you got a car.
Yeah, driver's
She
license.
crashed right in front of our house twice, and she says she doesn't remember. Like
I do
literally
not.
within the
I am
first 2 months.
gifted with the gift
She just
of
blocks.
blocking.
Of course, I remember as the therapist.
She remembers everything.
Twice in a row in like 1 week, she got in an
Not
accident.
sure. I think it was her. She makes
Okay,
it up.
whatever.
I'm not sure.
But she got a car, okay, and she got a job.
I did.
And how did that feel?
Oh my gosh, that first job was at Fashion Island. It was
Oh, by
not
one of
even-
those carts.
Yes, it was a hair accessory cart. It was just so exciting, but everything in our family was like so funny at the same time.
Yes.
I remember that even though, mom and dad felt like, okay, she can do it, step by step, I had to prove myself. But they would show up randomly because when I had to close the cart down, it was later in the evening.
And guess who else had to show up?
This young lady.
I was dragged everywhere you can think of.
I loved it. Just, like anything that let me feel responsible and be able to do things for myself, just making that first paycheck was just so exciting, even though it was not much. But it felt great, and I loved spoiling you too. So.
Yeah, so she got another job at Rampage. I don't know if you guys remember that store, but it was kind of like a BB, right? BB type of store. And it was so funny because she was new, and the new people had to do the closing. So, and my mom was so against her having this job because she was so scared. And, as an immigrant parent, they always scare the living life out of you. And she was scared of the parking lot. And she would tell me all these stories, late night in the parking lot in America. So she would put me in the car and we would go without her permission and just sit by the store for it to close down and for Mona to come out. And so we could basically escort her home and drive behind her.
Yeah.
But you were so generous. You were 16, 17 years old. You were working and you were shopping for somebody other than yourself. And who was that?
Beautiful lady over here. She was always the fashionista of the family.
No,
I
oh
had
my
to
gosh.
support.
I cannot believe that I was that spoiled little sister that
You
would
were not
allow you to
spoiled.
work and then I would take the
But
goodies.
it made me so happy. It was just as much about me as it was about you, because it truly made me feel proud, like I'm actually doing something,
And so if you were to tell me some of the challenges of those early years, you're talking really essentially to those women that are coming here. Maybe they're alone, maybe they're with their families, but they're experiencing a new culture, a new language. What was the hardest part for you?
The hardest part was us struggling as a family to see how our mom stressed so much because she started, her career later in her life.
I remember it was so hard.
And her English, she was really struggling with at the time, even though she always, got really good jobs because she's just that smart. She's very dedicated. She's very hardworking. But it was a big struggle for her. And then to go from being a full-time mom, which she really enjoyed and really went all out for the two of us, to, the transition. And she had to rely on me. I'm sure that was a lot of stress for her. So we were all stressing together for
As a family.
For me to see how it was such a hard transition for you, that first year, it was really, really hard. We went from a bigger house to a tiny apartment, all of us kind of like shoved into each other, eating a lot of, I remember, tomato and cheese sandwiches.
Somebody was really excited for the cereal boxes. I don't know who.
I was going through cereal boxes one a day. I think there was a time I was going. Yeah.
And of course,
you can't tell, but
I had to come in and say, can we please stop having the cereal boxes?
This girl always puts me on a diet. This has been a 20-year
lifestyle. Healthy lifestyle is what it is. But I did save you because
reminds me of
she was really enjoying life in those early years. I mean, we talked about this with my husband too.
Avocado. Avocado and banana.
Yeah, because what it is when you come from a third world country, and in Iran they have the best food, everything is natural, everything is amazing, but you have these tiny little
vegetables are not,
and you have smaller stores there, right? Here you come and you go to these mega supermarkets and you just walk around and you just, wow, what is this? So we talked about this with Ehsan too. Mona really hit it off with the cereal boxes.
I truly indulged and enjoyed myself, got it out of my system. Then I had to starve.
She did. And so at what point would you say things started getting easier? So if you're talking to the audience and they're struggling, How many years do you think it takes for someone to kind of adjust to this new lifestyle and new country?
I mean, I think it could be a lifelong,
Yeah,
but
that's a great point.
Those first couple of years, it depends. I mean, if you have family around you, you're not gonna feel as homesick, so it'll be an easier transition. I was blessed. I was lucky. I came here with my parents and my sister, my grandma. We have a lot of cousins here, so I never, in that sense, felt that loneliness because we were so blessed in that aspect. But I think as far as getting used to the country, to the system, I would say a couple of years.
Yeah,
Post that, it becomes second nature. It becomes home away from home. So,
but if they were to ask you, do you consider yourself more Persian or more American? What would you say?
I'm a mix. Because I was a teenager when we moved here, so I'm completely half and half. I feel like my root, of course, is Persian, Iranian. I'm very proud of it, but in a sense, I'm not as traditional. I have adapted to both, cultures, and I would say I'm
Iranian American.
Yes.
I want to go on one topic really quickly, and that is because I know we're going to get 1,000 questions asking why aren't we speaking Farsi. The reason we're not speaking Farsi is because we are not the only immigrants in America or in any other country. I remember one of my very first friends was Russian. I don't know if you remember. Her name was Lena. And you first came into my school. I was speaking Farsi and she was speaking Russian.
Yes.
And we were getting along basically.
But you were communicating.
We were communicating with our hands and our body. It was body language. I was speaking my own and she was speaking her own. And I really want to say that we as Iranians feel like, we have it the hardest as immigrants. But it's so interesting because each country, the people that come here have the same exact experience. So we're not alone. There is so many immigrants here. And there are immigrants all over the world. I mean, even Iran has immigrants from other countries. So we're not alone. Yeah. And that's why we're not speaking Farsi, because this is not about being Persian. This is about feeling like an outsider in a new country that you want to consider your home. So I want to end this with something that I know people are really interested in. With Ehsan, it was how he became a physician when he came here and what that route was like. And I think your biggest strength, and something that I know I look up to and everybody around us looks up to, and I'm sure people that follow you look up to, is how you manage your family life with your social life, how you manage to be an amazing mom to 3 and still look beautiful and put together and always have them very well put together. And you're just so amazing and balancing life. So what would you say? I mean, I really look up to that, and I still haven't figured it out the way you have.
Are you kidding?
No, I haven't.
You are amazing at everything.
You're an excellent mom. How do you manage it?
It's just a lot of, overall management. Prioritizing the day and the week.
You're very good about that.
So every Sunday I kind of know what's coming up that week. Mm-hmm. So I make sure from that Monday on, I'm not like, I know which day, what social occasion I have, what do the girls have, what classes they have. Mm-hmm. And every week I kind of know what's coming. So I'm never like frazzled that last minute.
You're very good about that.
Yeah. So,
so prioritizing.
Prioritizing, time management, and also really, I feel like for me, it's part of me feeling good, to be on top of it. That's what makes me feel good. So I really put an effort.
And would you say that, because I know this is true, and I've seen that it's very true in your case, when you have that one night out and when you put on that beautiful dress and some makeup and you go out once or twice a week, that you are a better mom
100%.
To your kids?
I feel very energized. I love my girls, but I definitely need my me time, my break. Space for sure. And I think each part of your life, there's a reason for it. You need to, work out. You need to pay attention to each little sector that makes you happy. Definitely socializing is part of it. And also, of course, the kids have their own socializing and they have their own, after school life. Me and my husband, your brother,
very good about that.
Have our own.
Come hell or high water, these two go on a date night. I mean,
even if it's 1 hour, because the house is always like so chaotic and so much going on with the girls. You always laugh at us, but we really don't get to talk. We are outnumbered.
They go no matter what, guys. It's epic.
So if we can squeeze a 1 hour lunch, 1 hour dinner, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, but it's just how we get to reconnect, I guess.
Well, you are goals in my book, and I know in so many other people's book. And thank you for raising me as my second mom. And thank you for being here. I always put her under pressure, and she always delivers. So thank you, sis.
Thank you for having me.
And I hope we answered some of your questions about us being married to two brothers. It is a thing. It has happened, and it will probably happen to someone else. So hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you guys. Well, I will see you guys next Tuesday, and maybe I'll drag her to that one too.
I may come back again, depending on how
we can make a thing of it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.